I think my mom is a witch. Not like the I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too kind of a witch. More like a Samantha Stevens, bewitched, wiggle your nose type. Or maybe she's more of a voodoo priestess, burying bones in the backyard, sprinkling ground up herbs over doorsteps. I don't know what she's doing or how she does it, but I am sure of one thing. She makes shit happen. It's like she says, hey, universe, do me this solid. And the universe replied, okay. Things happen for her in a way that don't happen for most people. These things can be small, like when she lost her keys for 2 weeks, then announced, today is the day I will find my keys, and lo and behold, an hour later, they turn up. These things can be big, like when she told me she wanted to be at least 50 years old before she became a grandmother, and despite 2 years of trying, my husband and I didn't get pregnant until 9 days after her 50th birthday. But perhaps my favorite thing she made happen was actually nationally televised. I'd moved to Los Angeles when I was 24 years old to work in Hollywood. My family made the trek from New Orleans to LA to visit me. The first question my mother asked me was, can you get me tickets to the Ellen show? Because she loved Ellen, and she wanted very badly to go. I wished that I could put in a call to someone to deliver the coveted tickets, but I'd only been in the city for 3 months and had limited contacts. I let my mom know it wasn't going to happen. What do you mean you don't know anybody at the Ellen show? My mother grumbled. What have you been doing out here for 3 months? Apparently nothing, Mom. Perhaps she and the universe were on the outs that week, as the tickets never materialized. Fast forward a year, I was now working at a prominent television network, and I knew a lot more people in a lot more places. Sitting at my desk, I hear the ping announcing an email. One of my connections has tickets. And it wasn't just any show, it was a big special Ellen in the Park episode shooting Mother's Day weekend. I called home immediately to let my mother know I was no longer a disappointment as a daughter. The day of the show, we arrived to find a massive audience of people, 4,000 we were later told. We're standing in line waiting to be ushered to our seats when a young woman walks up to my mom and asks, would you like to participate as a contestant in a game on the show? There are 4,000 people there, and she walks up to my mom. My mom is asked a few questions. She answers them animatedly and mostly honestly. She fails to mention the asthma pump she carried in her purse, but why would that be important? She was selected along with 4 other women. Because she was now a contestant, we got to sit in a special section of the park. As we walked to our seats, we passed the tiniest car I've ever seen. It looked like it should be wound with a key. This is going to be mine, my mom said. We get to our seats, which were adjacent to one of those huge slides you see at carnivals, the kind that you race down sitting on a potato sack. Ellen comes in driving the tiny car. It's a smart car, she told us, the only smart car in the United States, and a lucky contestant was going to win it that day. I thought back to what my mother proclaimed earlier and wondered if the universe was listening. Ellen explained the contest. The women would race down the slide. The last to come in would be eliminated from the competition. Then they would slide again, and the last woman standing would win the car. The race begins. The women slide down. One is eliminated, but my mom is still in there. Up the group goes again and slides down. Another woman is eliminated, but my mom is still in there. This repeats until there are 2 women left standing, a sweet dark-haired woman and my mother. As they ascend the stairs for the final round, my mom pauses halfway to the top. Going up over and over again, she has climbed what probably equals 12 flights of stairs, and that asthma she failed to mention is making itself known. Staff members rush up to help her. I'm down below worried. A producer comes up to me. Tell her I'll go in her place, I say. She should come and sit down. But perhaps my mom was using this time to talk to the universe because the producer came back to me. She wants to do it herself. It's just one more slide down, I think. Not so bad. My mom is at the top of the slide now. I can see her slowly getting her breath back. I'm actually feeling better until they wheel in the obstacle course. For the final round, Ellen explains, our contestants not only have to slide down the slide, but they must also hop through these tires, crawl through this tunnel, and be the first to touch the giant key I'm holding in my hand. Oh, that's all, Ellen. Awesome. The race begins. They slide down. They both reach the bottom at the same time. They hop up to jump through the tires, army style. My mom has a slight lead going into their tunnels, but we can't see them as they wiggle through. Finally, they both come through the other side, neck and neck. The other lady is fast, but my mom has longer arms. She reaches out, and her hand touches the key first. My mother has just won the only smart car in the United States while recovering from an asthma attack. Mom is obviously exhausted. Ellen tells her to rest while she turns to the runner-up. "You did a great job, don't worry. As a parting gift, we are giving you a trip to New York." And the first thing my mom says is, "What? I wanted a trip to New York?" Ellen turns to her confused. "You don't want the car?" My mother nods. "Yes, I do, but I've never been to New York before." During the commercial break, Mom feels a little bad. "I'm sorry, Ellen. I do want the car. It's just that I've never been to New York. 2 things I've wanted most was to come to your show and go to New York one day." A minute later, another woman walks up to us and introduces herself. "I'm from Embassy Suites Hotels, and we're going to give you a trip to New York." My mother hears those words, and her eyes well up with tears. This tough-as-nails magic lady that never cries gets overwhelmed by the thought that she is finally going to get to New York. It was one of the most precious moments I've ever had with my mother. The universe did us both a solid that day. But I'm still amazed as to how that happened. How did my mother make that happen? How in the world is she making these things happen? Is she wiggling her nose bewitched style? Is she burying bones in the backyard? Or is she really just saying, "Hey, universe, do me this solid"? And the universe is saying, all you have to do is ask.